Hello, it's Tristan here from Zebra Invest, and I've got a great video for you today. If you're out there refurbishing properties and putting them back into use, whether you want to sell them down the line, convert them into flats, or if you're trying to advertise and pick up tenants, but you need your property to look a little bit better, then this is the video for you. So what am I talking about? Well, you would have all seen computer generated images or renders of buildings. So the idea is, say you've gone off and you've got design of a building, how it's going to look when it's finished. Well, you can go off and get that all designed and put together before you've even done the project. And these can be really useful and quite powerful because, say, for example, you're doing up an HMO and you want to rent it out to students for next year, but actually you've bought the property in, say, February, you've got all that time that you need to start advertising to get the best quality tenants straight away. Well, they're going to want to see roughly what the place is going to look like. Or it could even be that you've got, like I've done, and I would have shown you in our videos all about King Street. We had a property where we turned it into an aesthetic studio, massage parlour, and various other bits. But we're really struggling to find tenants originally. And what we actually did was got a whole load of renders done, but with each floor looking differently. So one floor was an office, one floor was a massage room, and the idea being that people could then visualize and see themselves in that place. And then the other idea that I've had is when you're looking to do up a property or you're, say, converting or building a new build, one of the bits that can be really useful is if you can actually list a property for sale or even for rent before it's been done, so then you can lock in those purchases and sales straight away. So what I want to do is give you an idea of what you can achieve and what I've done myself, because that might give you a little bit of inspiration on how you can do it. And you can go to your architect and ask them to do this and get their renders done. And I have been quoted roughly £350 an image. And when you turn around and look at a project and you've got, even if it's 3 floors, that's quite a lot of money. What I want to do is show you how I've done it, see what you think, and hopefully you can drop a comment in the below to let me know what you think, whether you like it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a link at the bottom as well, so you can jump in, go find the way that I did this myself. So, all right, let's show you what I've been designing and had put together for Yarmouth Road, which is a cracking project that I'm working on at the moment. So this is a picture of one of the bedrooms that we're about to put together at Yarmouth Road. You can see it's got the vaulted ceiling, where it's going to be one of the flats that's on the first floor. So in this, you can see design elements that I've included in this from the beginning. A lot of the time, if you ask people to put renders or CGIs together, they will simply go off and do their own designs, which is great. But actually, when you're trying to sell a project where you're going to be renovating it to a certain standard or a certain finish, you want it finished and completed in your own way. So what I did here is actually I have a design specification that I went through and did to be able to show people exactly what I want the property to look like, how I want it to come together, so that when we actually build a place, it's these images are going to be photorealistic to match up with what the property is. And there you can see here we've got various different bedrooms, and then we've even got the external renders of what the property should look like. So then when people get an idea and they're thinking about, hey, do I want to buy this? Do I want to rent this? Or can it be there? They can understand what the visuals of the place is going to be like. And I think this one's pretty good. But it took a lot of time to be able to find this person to do these renders. So what I'll do, you get the gist of what these all look like. Uh, but I'll jump in and I'll show you exactly what I did to be able to find this. And I'll just give you a quick example before I do that of a commercial property that we did to be able to then find a tenant. So this is over at King Street, and this is showing you what the first floor could look like, how you could set it up as a massage room, how you could allocate and separate the spaces. And then even in there, it was just about going through and giving people an idea of what they could do, how it might look when they're actually in there. Because it's quite difficult for sometimes for people to understand how their space could be used and what they could do there. And these renders, they're quite good, but they weren't very expensive at all. And again, it's the same principle. We showed what we've got, what we're doing. We got what's called your CAD drawings, so our DWGs, to show what the inside of the building was like, and then sent them over to our designer. And yeah, I was pretty stoked with these. I was pretty happy. They looked pretty awesome. And I was pretty confident that people would be able to understand what we were achieving and what they would be moving into or how they could refurbish it if they wanted to. So that gives you an idea of what you can achieve with the inside of the building. But one of the bits I kind of alluded to was how I would do this. So I create a design specification just like this one for each of my properties. And this is really good. The main reason I create this is actually for the builders and for the guys who are going to be on site so they know exactly what to fit. So when the project's finished, we know it's going to look good, how it's going to be finished, the standard of the materials, and what we expect to find in it, what kind of features there's going to be, how we want the tiling to look, for example, in the kitchen with the splashbacks, how we want our lighting to look, and how everything's to be finished on the inside. But this is also quite useful because when you've got a document like this, you can send it straight across to a graphic, computer generated image chat or renderer or someone creating photorealistic images because they know what to find or what to expect inside your property. So for all those renders I've just shown you, I've actually got them from Fiverr, and Fiverr is a freelancer website. It's a great website if you want to find someone to design a logo, someone to do coding for you, translate stuff, create videos, content, anything you're looking for, you can find on here. But you can also find people who do architectural renders. So what I do is just put in architectural, if I can get it right, render. And what you'll find is loads of people out there offering this service. So they'll take your designs, your layouts, your floor plans, and then they can rearrange and do various different bits for you. It's also quite good if you've got a building where you've already drawn out what you want to do and just want them to get them to more formal plans so you can give them to someone else. Usually I'd use an architect for that, but it can be quite a good way to do it. But what I always try and do is make sure you choose or find a seller who is probably level one or level two. The reason being the top rated sellers are usually the most expensive, and the new sellers, well, you want to be able to see if someone can actually do their job and has got a bit of a track record. So I usually click that to go apply. And then what I then usually do as well is I'm a little bit of a cheapskate. So what I tend to do is put my budget in at their value range. So then what it then does is going to stick out all the different people who are advertising or offering these services. The bits you will see is there's quite a few people on here who are advertising, and there's some people who you'll just see over and over and over again. But what I try and do is look through these and open up quite a few different ones and then work out which ones I think are actually realistic, which ones I think look genuine, rather than some do look a little bit like they've just been playing. For example, a Sheik here, it looks a little bit more like he's been playing Sims rather than he's actually doing a building. And a couple of them just don't look like the legitimate article. I'll go through and I'll open a couple of them just to give you an idea and what some of the stuff can actually cost. And when you're inside them, they do have all different levels. And again, see, look, this job here, I wouldn't have said that's the best one going, but you just keep going through and having a look through to click through. So let's open up another one there. So you can see this chap here, they look like quite a good render. He's offering it just from one rendering perspective, but they do look quite good. So he's actually setting that all out for you. They then have a different kind of a scale for different size buildings, one render, and then they do larger ones. And then you've got other chaps here that you'll do, they tell you exactly what they're including, how many renders they'll do for it. And then you'll actually see in a second one that I've actually ordered from here myself. But again, you've got some really good work that people can do for you. And look, they'll even do a cinematic walkthrough. So they can go around the whole of the property in the building to be able to kind of create a video that you could share with potential tenants or buyers. And again, but this is kind of what I mean is you've got some that just aren't quite as sharp as others. And here this does to me just look a little bit like it's almost there, but it's not quite good enough. So just take a look through. And here you've got another one, this one photorealistic, and that does actually look really quite impressive. And then especially if you can give them your designs and layouts, they'll do it. And the last one I'll show you is actually David. David I found recently, I mean, do both internal rendering and external renders of the buildings. And you can see here, if we go back, if we go through, some of them are a little bit sketchy, but you can see these are really good quality renders. And they actually look, that is actually my property. And you can actually just see just how good they actually look. And I think, well, I believe that they do actually almost look photorealistic. And in doing so, you can get someone to render the whole of your building. And I got all three of my renders of the building to go round for £70. So you can quite easily find someone out there who'll be able to you can quite easily find someone out there who's got a great level of skill, who can design and put these whole renders together to make your property look fantastic. And as I said, whether that's something you're looking to build out, to rent out in future, something you're looking to sell, or even if you're trying to do it where you're trying to attract another type of tenant that might not be coming to it. So, say for example, you've got retail shop and you want to make it so you might get a tattoo artist or you might want to get someone else come in. You can put those renders together so they can get an idea of what that might look like. Anyway, I hope you found this video really useful. I'm going to leave a link in the description down there that heads to Fiverr. I'll put that in for the renders, so then if you want to head out there, find designers like these for yourself. I'll even include David Franco's link, which I've used myself, so then you can actually head off and use it. It will be an affiliate link, so I might get a little bit of commission if you do decide to use it. But yeah, thank you very much. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you've liked it, please smash that like button. If you've got any questions, drop them in the below, and hopefully subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.